I've had some folks ask me recently about my Springfield Milspec 1911 that I got back at the tail end of 2019, and that's reason enough to post an update for my friends here on YouTube. For those who don't know, Springfield's Milspec 1911 is heavily inspired by, but not a copy of, the classic M1911 of yesteryear. 2 World Wars, 45 because they don't make a 46, you know what I'm saying. It's a somewhat simple, stripped-down affair in terms of the world of 1911. Standard government profile barrel, forged steel frame and slide, Parkerized finish, checkered wood grips, and basic 3-dot sights. It really captures the essence and experience of a 1911, which in my view doesn't necessarily have to be a bespoke work of art costing thousands of dollars. It's a no-nonsense piece of Americana that can certainly still be called into service to defend one's life. Just a quick rundown of the specs. It weighs in at 39 ounces, it is 8.6 inches long, 5.5 inches high, and has a 5-inch stainless steel barrel. It has the more traditional spur hammer and arched mainspring housing, but its somewhat upgraded sights and also a lowered and flared ejection port give the classic GI 1911 some functional updates. Overall, this gun has been excellent. As I said before, this is my first 1911 pistol, and I think that's what the Milspec line is ideal for. Getting younger shooters who maybe didn't grow up in the 1911-centric gun culture of the 20th century to experience this American classic in an affordable, hassle-free manner. Yes, there is plenty of chatter on the web about how 1911s aren't reliable. This example seems, so far, to have missed that memo. At this point, I have just over 1,500 rounds through it. I was somewhat fortunate to purchase 2 boxes of large pistol primers in February of 2020. I had saved the brass of the 400 or so rounds of factory 230 grain ball I had run through it. I had a decent stash of powder, and after buying some 200 grain lead semi-wad cutter cast bullets, I was able to keep shooting this off and on a pretty good amount over the past year. Now, lead bullets and unique make for a pretty dirty combination, and I would guess that I have done a cursory cleaning of this pistol every 250 rounds or so since purchasing it. I was only able to get one 50-round box of 230 grain gold dots through it, and have more recently shot another 150 rounds of 230 grain ball. No issues to report, so I'm very pleased with that. The gun feels great in the hand. It's a 1911. You hear a lot of talk about the 1911 being one of the most ergonomic handgun designs ever, and I have to say nothing else feels quite like it. It's slim, but it's not too slim. The trigger reach is about as good as it gets. Even the stock grips don't leave much to be desired here. Plenty of traction to go around, but not too much traction that would tear up your skin inside the waistband. The thumb safety is easily reached, and the safety on the 1911 Milspec here engages positively with minimal slop. If I were to put this gun into a defensive or carry roll, I would probably want a little more traction, maybe with some skateboard tape on the front strap. Just a simple solution like that would probably suffice. The 3-dot sights are rudimentary but do the job just fine. I haven't felt that they're lacking for what they are, but may get around to experimenting with blacking the rears out and hitting that front sight with some orange paint, which is the setup I have on several other guns here at the house, and it seems to work really well for my eyesight. As a 1911 noob, I don't know how the trigger on the Milspec stacks up to high-end custom pieces, but coming from a double action and Glock world, it straight up rocks. It feels like hitting the easy button when at the range. It's not a Glock. I wouldn't expect it to be trucking along after a couple thousand rounds of no maintenance shooting, and if you're looking for that kind of pistol, I suggest you don't buy a 1911. It takes a little more care to be sure, but with that said, I sort of figured I'd have some sort of reliability issue by now, and I just can't seem to make it trip up. To expand on using the 1911 as a defensive firearm, we all have to consider our personal use cases, threat assessment, and preferences when it comes to picking a defensive firearm. For folks who are not enthusiasts and just want to get an easy-to-use, low-maintenance firearm to defend themselves with, or LEOs looking for a duty-ready gun, I do believe there are much, much better options for the same amount of money as a lower-end 1911 like this one. A Glock, M&P, SIG, Beretta, or H&K pistol 9mm in whatever size you feel good about is going to generally require less maintenance, be easier to use, lighter weight, higher capacity. You catch my drift. But here's the thing. 1911s are really cool. They just have a certain thing. It's a sweet slice of Americana. I mean, this is a 110-year-old pistol. I certainly think they make an awesome collector's piece or range toy, but also if you have a reliable 1911 and you shoot it well, I say by all means carry it. Know its limitations, know what makes it tick, know how to shoot it effectively, and I don't think you're realistically all that undergunned in the world of high-capacity plastic people poppers. Would I carry it? Yeah, I would, and someday I might. I just don't feel like I put the time in to learn the 1911 enough to feel good about my skill with one. This particular one has run really well for me, and if you're new to the 1911 world, or the concealed carry world in general, but the 1911 world in particular, make sure you shoot the gun a lot with the ammo you intend to carry before putting it into service. I think the Springfield 1911 mil-spec would be a fantastic gun for someone intrigued by the world of 1911s and wanting to dip a toe into the water, someone looking for a base 1911 to have worked over by a smith, or someone who is looking for a proven, historically interesting design to defend themselves with. Thanks for watching, folks.